Hi guys, I'm glad this opportunity has come up to show my method of transcribing. I'm a great one for using technology as much as possible to make a job easier. So I'm going to show you my process in my digital audio workstation, which is Ableton Live, with my MIDI keyboard over here. And yeah, let's get right to it. Okay, so I've started out with a new project here. You can see it's called Untitled. I put in a MIDI track and an audio track. I'm going to upload the song I wanted to transcribe, and in this case it's Teddy Swims, Lose Control by Brendan Ross, his version. I really love Brendan Ross's playing, and I try and transcribe a lot of his work and then try and play just like he does. So, right, so then in the MIDI track, I'm going to load up just a electric piano, basic electric piano instrument. And here we see over there's the instrument that's been loaded. And I put in and on the track there. You can see now I've got it. Got it connected to my DAW. And then I'm going to grab, I've got the song over here. So I downloaded this directly from YouTube using, where's the app now? Let me get it to load. YouTube to MP3, this app over here, Media Human. You just paste the link into the app and it downloads the audio. Should be here. Ah, there it is. Yeah. So there's the app. You copy a link, you paste it there, paste it in, and it downloads it as an MP3. And that's what I start with. So let's just get back to my track. I've already downloaded it. So there I'm just going to drag it into the audio track over there. And the first step, which is crucial, is to get the right BPM for the song. So I usually use an app, a metronome app on my phone, which has a tap tempo function. So as the song plays, so I'll just play it here. I've got no sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I tap it away like that, and I get the tempo, which I have done already. And I found that's 80 BPM, and I think it's a 6/8. It could be a 3/4. I like working in 6/8. So it can either be a slow 6/8 or a fast 3/4. And the next thing is to then line up these beats to trim the audio track as close as possible to that first beat. So I'll shave it off right up to there. Just take that little thing off there, and then move it back to beat 1, and then test it with, now there over there we switch the metronome on and off, and let's hear how close we were. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think that's pretty accurate. So I found that like old songs that are recorded in studio, the timing can be very loose. It doesn't matter who it is. I've transcribed Stevie Wonder songs where the timing drifts all over the place, and it starts getting a bit challenging using time stretching and warping functions in Ableton Live. We have a warp function here where you can go and put in little locators like this to stretch individual bits and pull them onto the beat. So sometimes I have to do that to get it really accurate. But more modern recordings are recorded in a studio to a click track, and they're generally pretty spot on in terms of the timing to a metronome. I'm just undoing everything here because I know Brendan Ross records to a metronome, But what you're going to do after you've checked it here, make sure it's on the beat, is just go through the song. Keep clicking further on and see that it hasn't drifted. So you're going to make sure it hasn't drifted and it's remaining on the metronome all the way through. Go right to the end. So, okay, so that's the essentials done. We've got the BPM of the song. It's matching up perfectly to the metronome and the time signature set. So once we've done that, then go through, so we start the song. Let's have a look. So, we can go to a point and see where does it start now. Okay, so depending how difficult, how complex the song is, I'll work in little chunks. So if I'm going to highlight this section here, I'm going to click loop on in Ableton. It's loop selection. I want that bit to loop. So we're going to go. Okay, so I've got that little section loop. Now, one other thing I do is in Ableton, it depends on your DAW. Ableton has a warp function where once you've got the tempo and everything, you click it on and you'll see there change to 80 BPM here. So that's the BPM of the original track, with the one that we've uploaded, the audio track. And I set it to Complex Pro, and then what that does is it enables you to speed it up and slow it down without degrading, without changing the pitch. So if you listen to this, I go there, I'm going to change the tempo. As slow as what is comfortable. Okay, so what I'm doing there is now I want to get it to a point where I move over to my keyboard on the side here and I start finding those notes just for that little section. Okay, I reckon we're there. Okay, so that's my starting note. So I turn my track volume down so I can hear the keyboard louder over the track. Okay, so I've got an F sharp, I've got an E, and I've got a C sharp. So 2 to 3. Okay, that sounds about right. So now I'm going to try and play it in. I've got my MIDI track already armed for record over here. So that's good to go. So let's see how close I get. Let's just play it one more time so I can see it's got the right notes. Okay, so I recorded those notes into it over there. I can play it back to see, and you'll see at the bottom over here in my inspector for that track, if I click on that bit that I've just recorded, it'll pop up here. If I click on the audio track, it pops up here. So whatever I've got selected up on the top, here's the inspector, which shows, and you'll see there's the bar count or the beat count over here. You'll see my playing's not that accurate. So what I use is the quantize function. We can just have a listen to it and see how far I've got. Okay, those notes sound right. So what I'm going to do is going to go quantize. Let's check my quantize settings first. So this set to 132. There's no triplets there. Let's try 1/16 might be enough, and just the start and the end of the note. Yeah, we'll just make it the start, the length, and I'll see about that just now. You'll see I've selected all the notes already, and then I click OK, and then it just adjusts them perfectly in time. So let's listen to the timing relative to Brennan's playing. All right. Okay, there's a do that's missing over there. I didn't get that the first time. And you can see this note is overlapping that note there. So saxophone being a solo instrument, we can't have overlapping notes because that's going to mess up what we're going to do later. And you'll see why. There's another overlapping note over there. You can see there's our bar timing line. And I'm just going to pull that back a bit. It's okay if it doesn't go all the way to the end. So the quantize has already snapped these to the to those beat lines according to my quantized settings at 1/16. Sometimes need to go higher, especially for the little faster runs and things like that. So let's just listen to that again. Okay, so I've got one missing over here. And I've got a little bit of a swing feel to it. I just want to make my grid lines narrower here, so I'm going to pull that back. That's a okay, so it's a C sharp again. So here I can just draw in a note there that I missed, and let's see if that's better. Yep, all right, that sounds perfect. All right, so okay, and then that's the basic process, and I go through obviously the whole song. Sometimes you're lucky and you've got parts that can repeat, and you can just copy a bit and paste it somewhere else, and you go through the whole process, every single note for note. So once I've got the whole thing, I take that MIDI. That's MIDI information there. Ableton has the function. If I right click that, export MIDI clip. So I'll export the MIDI clip, and it's called by the instrument name that I loaded up, Electric Piano Basic, and I'm going to save it. I already have an old one there. I'm not sure if that's the one I'm working on, so let's just call that Electric Piano Basic Test and save. Right, then I'm going to go over to my notation software, which is MuseScore. It's free and it's really, really good. Yeah, okay, so there's my project open at the moment. Just going to close that. There's my other one. And I'm going to go open and navigate to that MIDI clip. And there's my test over there, and open. And it's already transcribing. Now it's thrown in a whole lot of extra things there. You can see it's like flipping between the treble clef and the bass clef. That's just because of the note range that I've chosen in Ableton. So let's just select that. We'll select all of these and then transpose up an octave. Now you can see there we're on C3. I'm just going to put on hold, I think it's shift arrow up. Yeah. And C4. So we've gone up an octave. Right, you can hear that's higher now. So I'm going to export it again. And yeah, it was basic test. We'll save over that, replace. Let's go back to MuseScore, close that, and open it again and see if it looks better. Piano test. Okay, right, now those the different clef things are all gone. Okay, you can see now, because I chose it as a 6/8, it's got some pretty fast, lots of dots in the line type of thing. So what I normally do there is, if I think, oh, that's going to be difficult to read, remember it's only for my own reference, the correctness of it all is not really a big deal for me. So I'm going to cut all of that, and then in MuseScore, I'll go paste double duration, and there it's made it a little bit more readable. So now you'll see there, okay, there's a weird looking rest, these kind of things. I mean, that's these kind of things is part of the tidy up process that happens later. So if I go back, let's just see which note that is. Da, 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 da. Okay, so it's that. Da, 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 so we can change this. Whoops, that's not supposed to be all of those. Just select that one. Change the note lengths, try and make things look neater without those weird rests and things. So we can go all the way back and export it in the raw MIDI. Edit it in the raw MIDI and then re-export it. Or we can just tidy up things here in MuseScore. So for instance, I can just cut that note and then paste it back over there. So we don't have those weird rests. Or we can do that. Or whatever, there's lots of ways to skin the cat there to make it just make it a little bit clearer. So if we go back here and then let me open my project that I'm busy working on. And there you see I've done the whole track, and let's have a quick listen to it, see what it sounds like. Okay, even down in his sort of fast runs and falls, I do all of those bits. Listen to this bit. Okay, if you could hear the electric piano going there. Okay, and here I've got a backing track. It's like a karaoke version. Also got from YouTube, and we can hear what the electric piano sounds like if it was the lead instrument playing. Okay, jump around a bit. Slow it right down. Oops, this one does not have the warp function. Better enable warp. Make sure they're all slow down together. So let's just go there and we can see the accuracy. Let's compare it to Brennan Ross's version here. Open that up and you can see. Right at the end, there's a little noodling as well. You can listen to that one as well. Go back up to 80, 80 is the original, and switch over to MuseScore, and then Teddy Swims, and there we go. So what I've done, obviously I've transposed it into the tenor key, which is I think it's B major, is that right? Yeah. Okay, this tempo, I've just put it in there so that this plays back at a speed that when I'm testing it here, because it plays it as well. All right, so then, so that's not really the actual tempo, but don't worry about that. So then what I do is then go through and where it's actually created not a grace note, because I don't know if we can see it in this one. In fact, I'll open my final one of my MIDI version. Let's just see, where are we now? 7th test, this one here. No, this one. So let's open that and see. Right, that's what it looked like before I started cleaning up. So this is directly exported from Ableton. Let's just select all and do my cut, and then my paste double time, double duration. Okay, so it's a little easier to read. Remember, this is only for my own reference. If somebody else came to play it, they might go like, okay, this looks a bit strange. But it's for my reference. I know what how to interpret this, how to play it out. Okay, there you can see it. It's not transposed. Easy way to do it in MuseScore, instead of trying to figure out all the transposition, although we know it's only a tone up. Select all and copy, go edit, instruments, and you'll see this is picked up as a piano. And then I go to woodwinds and tenor sax, so we add another staff of tenor sax. You see there it's transposed it, and here I just paste into there, and now we've got the tenor sax, but you see it's an octave too high now. So all of that selected. There's a shortcut key here. I can just boom, take it down an octave, and there we go. All right, now go back to instruments, and I hide the piano, turn it off, and click OK. And now we've got a nice score to start working on. I see some parts over here. Here you can see there, it's picked up two voices. So it's got the rest and it's got instruments. Yeah, rest in. So there's some messy bits we need to tidy up over there. Not even sure about that this, it's not a triplet, that's what do you call it, quadruple, kind of triplet timing in 3/4 time, something like that. Also, you don't see any of the grace notes here. So if I go back to this one here, let's look at, there's some scoops over there I've added in. Where are we here? Bar 53, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That looks like it's bar 60. Okay, so if we look there, I've just put in these little grace notes here. Around bar 60. Yeah, okay. So that's how it translates it from the MIDI to MuseScore notes. So obviously that's all very messy. So then after I've done all the hard work of figuring out all the notes and the timing and all that sort of thing, the tidying up comes in to get it to a nice looking score like this. Lovely. Hope you enjoyed that.